Marketing and Communications Manager at Theatre Passe Muraille. And welcome to you all to this That's the Way the Cookie Crumbles Artist Chat Series. So we've called it that because who knows what will come out of these conversations. There could be some awkward pauses, there could be some pets walking by, there could be lots of traffic noises, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I'd just like to say thank you to Craig's Cookies, yay, Craig's Cookies, who has kindly given the artists in our Artist Chat series a cookie to eat during this interview, during this chat. I keep saying interview, it's not an interview, it's a chat. So feel free to eat it during, feel free to eat it after, whatever you're comfortable with. But for now, I'm gonna get out of the way and just let our artists take over. So I'm going to throw it over to Samson and they'll introduce themselves.
Hi folks, my name is Samson Bonkeabantu Brown. I am a performer and playwright, and my show is called 1111, and it is part of this year's season for Theatre Passe Muraille and also part of the Buzz series. And I'm also here with...
I'm Kanika Ambrose. I am the artistic producer of Paprika Festival. Paprika is a year-round festival for young people, for youth. So our participants are from 18 to 30. We have 7 programs that run from about November and culminate in our week-long festival in May.
Nice, nice. That sounds great. I keep hearing so much about Paprika Festival, but I'm trying to remember, I might have gone to a few shows in the past, but I've never been part of it. So I'm wondering, for people that want to take part and want to, you know, work on their artistry through Paprika Festival, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so actually our applications are open right now. They close September 30th, but I don't know if this will be released before applications close, but either way, we kind of work on a flexible basis where people can reach out and contact us at any time. We will connect people with mentors. We do things in a formal and an informal way all the time based on what folks need. So there hasn't ever been a time where someone reached out to myself or Daniel or and they were like, hey, we want to have a chat. And we were like, no, we don't do that. It's not application time. So I guess I just went on a bit of a tangent, but we have 7 program streams: the Director's Lab, Design Lab, Productions, Playwrights, the Festival, Creative Producers and Administrators, Creators Unit, and the Indigenous Arts Program. So people can apply to whatever suits them. Application process is simple. They don't really, and it's flexible too. So yeah, that's how you get involved. Or you just drop us a chat.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to see some stuff in the past. Can I ask you about your headdress and your beads?
Yes. So this is so my mother is South African, specifically Xhosa. So I am a Xhosa man. This is one of the traditional things that we tend to wear for ceremonies, you know, events, weddings, etc., that kind of thing. So right now in South Africa, it is currently Heritage Month. So it goes on the entire month of September. Yesterday was actually Heritage Day specifically. So I've just been, you know, trying to get a little of my South African vibe happening here in Canada, even though we're in the midst of, you know, weird weather. And in South Africa right now it's spring. So yeah, that's kind of what this is. So it always brings me a little bit of joy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And is Heritage Month connected to any specific event in the history of South Africa?
Wow. So Heritage Month, typically in South Africa, what will happen? They use it to foster greater social cohesion, nation building, and shared national identity. So typically what will happen on social media is you will see a lot of posts from people just celebrating the different nations that they are a part of within South Africa. So Ndebele people will typically dress up in Ndebele clothing. Uh, Tswana is the same thing. Swatis, etc. Zulus. And so if you actually Google or even just search the hashtag Heritage Day or even Heritage Month on Instagram, you will see loads of pictures. And so it's a way
Yeah.
for everybody to really celebrate who we are, both separately and together. And there's also often events as well that happen throughout the month.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, my family is from Dominica. It's in the Caribbean, and like our Creole Month actually starts in October. It's the month of October and goes to Independence on November 3rd. So like Independence is when they became independent from Britain. So that whole month, it's a beautiful time of like wearing Dominican traditional wear. And now there's a lot of different formats. Like it really, it's just the fabric that, and people have like made modern interpretations of what it looks like, but it is a really gorgeous time of the year, I think, in countries that have that kind of a celebration. And it's something that I definitely miss being here. And like sometimes there's celebrations that happen like in the GTA, but obviously because of COVID, there won't be this year. So anyway, I hope somebody does something virtual. So at least get to celebrate in that way.
That would be amazing. So I
Mm-hmm.
was wondering what show you are like taking part in or working on in this season for Theater
Sorry, in Paprika?
in Paprika and like how Paprika is tied in with Theater Pasmarai.
Oh, yeah. So Paprika will have like a week-long Theater Past My has given us space for the week. It's the last week of May into the first week of June. And it'll be like a takeover of all of these young artists' work. We have invited back 6 of the artists from last year who didn't get to fully realize their project. And then we'll have however many artists come through this year. Usually there's about 2 in the productions, 2 or 3 directors, I think 2 directors. There's usually about 7 or 8 shows in total. So with the ones from last year, it'll be a pretty healthy mix of shows over that week. And it's also our 20th anniversary season. So we'll have some planning around that and some extra ancillary events. I should also say, in the spirit of not knowing what's going to happen, it may be at Theater Pasmarai in the actual space. It may be outside somewhere. It may be virtual. Maybe a combination of all those things. We're really flexible. That's the way we roll anyway. We're flexible based on what folks need. So now we have to be flexible even more. So that's not too bad for us. Yeah, how about tell me about your show. I didn't get to see it when it was at Riser. Yeah, when did you start creating it?
I actually started creating the show in 2015. I was doing an artist in residency at Watsa Theater under the guidance and advisement and tutelage, etc., and mentorship of the Be Young and East Africa. So I first started working on 1111 at that point. And so I had 3 different iterations for it to become like a complete thing. And then I took a break. And because my show is very much ancestrally driven and my life is very much ancestrally driven, my ancestors, called upon me again in 2017, 2018 to rewrite and rework the show. And so I did. And then it was part of the Riser project last year, which was a beautiful, beautiful experience to get to experience that and perform the piece. But the show essentially is where the spirit world and the real world meet. And it lies in that space lies a world that's unapologetically, crafted and also performed by myself. And so 1111 explores the other side of fear through the eyes of a young Black trans man struggling to obey the ancestral messages that are saturating his dreams. And so this play is essentially my life. I play, I want to say about 7 characters. So it is a one-person show. It is a monodrama. So I play the main character Amanjla, who the story follows Amanjla through their life from childhood to relative adulthood. I play Amanjla's mom, Amanjla's father, Amanjla's maternal grandmother, and paternal grandfather. So it is and I also play another character who is a Sangoma, and a Sangoma is a South African diviner and healer.
Mm-hmm.
And they also do dream interpretation. They heal with medicine and plant medicine, which is also what I also do in my regular everyday life on top of being an artist. So I'm playing a lot of characters, um, and some other characters that come in and out of the show. But yeah, that's pretty much the show, and it's a wonderful, wonderful piece that it is my baby, it is my heart, um, it is it is my life really. So it's an offering, really, is what it is. It's an offering. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love the way you speak about it, and it's beautiful that you're able to you're able to continue to grow it and to practice and present. Um, Theater Past Mari feels to me like such a safe space to do that, and such so nurturing. So like, I'm glad that you get to do it in that space as well. Yeah, that's super exciting. Can you, I was wondering well, I'm wondering two things. I don't know what to ask first. Yeah, okay, since it's connected to the play, 11:11, would it be giving the play away if you could allude to like what the title kind of means?
Well, 1111 is tied um, tied to the dreams that the main character has, and also that I had in my life at that time when I was writing the piece initially. So that was often how I was able to recognize when my ancestors were showing up in my dreams and had messages for me versus it just being a random dream based off of maybe something I'd watched on TV before I fell asleep. So that was kind of how it weaves in. So
Mhm.
1111 is yeah, it's an ancestral message for me. For other people who may like study numerology, it can be tied to like angel numbers, etc. Um, but yeah, that's how 1111 works in for me and with this show.
Cool. And my second question was, what does your middle name mean?
So Bonke Abantu is actually my maternal grandfather's name, or was
Ah,
his name before he passed away. And the literal meaning is all people.
mm,
And culturally, in not just South Africa but across Africa, names very rarely just mean like one thing or just a word. They're typically descriptors. So while yes, literally it means all people, culturally what it means is that it's one who is representing kind of like all the people in the family. So
mm,
yeah, that's
I see.
what it means.
Cool. Great.
Yeah. It's really cool. I really like your name. What does your name mean?
Yeah, my name means black cloth.
Mm.
Yeah, my dad, do I have it? I have it because I was choosing my son's name. Anyway, my dad was a Pan-Africanist in the 80s. And I was born at the end, very, very almost the 90s, but the end of the 80s. And he picked my name from an African name book that he found on Bathurst. So I was also I'm into meanings. I'm picking my son's name from that book as well.
Wonderful.
So
You're saying so a bookstore on Bathurst. Am I right to guess that it was Third World Book?
I'm thinking so.
Yes.
I didn't want to say the wrong name, but I'm like, what was open? It must have been.
Yeah, Third World Books. I remember that bookstore. My mom used to take me there when I was a child. And
Yeah.
it was a safe haven.
Yeah. So like we lived out in Oshawa and Curtis when I was a kid, but like there were Black authors who used to come out there every now and then and read to us. So I had books by Aita Sadhu, Pardo Keen's Legless, and they would come and do readings. So I had a whole collection. So then and to see that Aita's still there and running a different book list. It was like it connects all the way back, you know, when we support each other. You know, when our parents support these authors and these artists, the children grow up and support these authors and artists who are still around, and it's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah, definitely. I I is my aunt, which is what makes it even more interesting when you say that.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah.
So like we were looking at books because anyway, I was like, my kid needs to know from birth, like who you are. So I made this book list from a different book list of like all the books that I want my kid to have, like right from the time he opens his eyes.
Yes,
Like,
yes. I love that. I love that. When I was a child, my mother used to give me assignments. Um, so, yeah, but my mom used to give me assignments separate from the assignments that I had from school.
yeah.
Give me these assignments, to try and keep me going and not have me bored, especially during the summer and break. And
Yeah.
there was one book I guess that she had gotten from I think the teacher's bookstore that had a bunch of these writing prompts. And so she would tell me at random times, like, you know, choose a prompt, write something, and we'll go from there. So one of the first stories I actually wrote was from a prompt from that one of those books, and it was a story called Thanksgiving from a Turkey's Point of View. And to this day, I don't remember the full story, and I can't find the initial manuscript. But when I'd written it, my mom said, "Let's show this to Aita." And so I did, and initially I'd actually written it as a play, and then when Auntie Aita read it, she was like, "Oh no, this would be great as like a story." So she got me into the Toronto Storytellers Festival at that time, and I was still a child. I think I was like 11 or 12 years old, and so I performed it at Harborfront. So it was an incredible experience, and then so that really got me into like performing, like hardcore performing. So
Oh
it's
my God, look
beautiful
at
to see.
that.
Yeah. So now I'm like, anytime I have books to buy or anything, and I purposely choose to gift my friends when they're having children. I purposely choose to gift them children's books because I know people are typically going to get the clothes and like the other things the kids need, but people don't often think about books. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me just go and get all the books that I can. So I typically will just buy out as many books as I can, and if they're books that some of the books are ones that Auntie Aita's written, then I'll get her to sign the book. The child has like an autographed copy from birth, and just go with it from there. So it's a beautiful bookstore. It's a beautiful experience, and I'm so happy that you're able to like share this love of reading
Yeah.
with your son.
Yeah, and love of like reading books that reflect who we are. It was important to me as a child, and like I kept all of them, like Christopher changes his name and all those ones. And I have some that were autographed by Aita as well. And it makes you feel so special because they address you by name, and it's like,
Mhm.
Kanika, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh my God, they know who I am. So
Yes.
like, it
Yes.
makes you feel special, and you're like, that kid looks like me, and yeah, that's so special. I'm glad that you do that for your friends, and I'm glad. Look at that
Yeah.
connections.
Connection. It's actually really funny because one of Auntie first books, Christopher, at that time it was called Christopher, Please Clean Up Your Room.
Yes, that one. I have that one too, with the cockroaches in it.
Yes. He actually is. When I was a child, I was not the neatest child. I can say that. He used to drive my mother up the wall. So at the ITSA, when she wrote the book, I'd actually originally dedicated it to me and one of my other
Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan right now.
horrible in that way. I definitely got better as I got older, but it was always a struggle. So at the ITSA, used to always tell me, if you're not careful, you're gonna wind up with cockroaches, and that's not a good thing. And the book.
I know.
Like, why is this my life?
I know. It did that to me. Like it freaked me out. Anytime there were like something piled on the floor, I was like, oh my God, cockroaches. Like I don't want that. And the way that it was like infested, I was like, oh no, this has got to go. And I would not eat in my room. Yeah. So Auntie Aita like did her job.
She really did, because thankfully my room never got that bad, but just the idea that it could possibly even
Exactly.
That's also one of the books that I make sure that I buy for my friends' kids, because I'm like, we're not gonna have this problem. Let's nip this in the bud early, right?
I know. Oh my God, so cool.
Yes.
Sorry, I have to jump in because this is adorable and amazing that you guys have this connection over like books. It's so great. It's I've just been smiling from ear to ear the whole time you've been talking about this. What a great small world this is. Oh my goodness. Do you guys have any other questions or anything else you want to chat about? Any other things you want to say about either Paprika Festival or 11/11?
Ooh, I should probably mention my director and when the show is actually going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't ask any of that. So useful.
Wait, I'm actually trying to find the exact dates of when my show's running.
Oh.
February. Like February something.
In a few months. It feels like so far away, to be honest.
Yes.
Find my dates right now.
Yeah, I think I'll talk a little bit about that, and then I think I'm done after that.
Great. I will pop back out.
Sounds good. Oh, wow. So yes, books. Books are amazing. I love them. I love what they do for us and what they bring to us. And I think it's the same thing that theater does for me, in terms of, inspiring people, sometimes shifting the way we think about things. And I love how writing and having that influence of writers in my life from childhood on has helped me craft my own voice in the world and how I write and what I write. So I'm really excited about 11/11. I'm working with a new director. My director's name is Tunu Halema, and Tunu is also South African, also a trans man like myself. And it is
chances, man.
Right? And exactly. And it is his first time directing, so I'm really excited. And because it's part of the Buzz series, which for those who don't know and who are watching, the Buzz series is a developmental series in which there's some experimentation that often happens with some of the shows. And it's a way to help decide what shows are going to be picked up for like full productions with Theater Pass Marai. So 11/11 this year wonderfully gets to work with, or experiment, I should say, with augmented reality and also ASL and how to blend those two. So I'm really excited about that because accessibility for me is so key. I feel like there's so many parts of the world that are limited to people who are not within what society has deemed to be, I guess, I hate the word normal, but how society views things as though if you're not able to or you have accessibility needs, then there aren't always ways that people make room and space for that. So I'm really glad that 11/11 is getting the chance to do that, which is really, really key for me. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited to see how.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's great. You've got such a great supportive team as well. Paprika, also part of our mandate as well is accessibility as well. And we provide accessibility guides, but we also have the conversations with the participants about how and in what ways to start thinking about that as part of their creation process and building it into they're thinking right from the start. So yeah, that's something that we're going to continue, but as well, like even right up until right through the application process, like we try to reduce barriers as much as we can. So like if you want to submit an application and the form is whatever, we do phone applications, we do email, we don't do in-person right now, but we have in the past done in-person application process, and sending out the questions for the interviews in advance. And, you know, there are ways to do it that don't even take that much don't take anything out of a budget, or don't take that much out of your time. It's just about the thought. So I'm excited that you're getting to explore that in detail through this process and having that opportunity. That's super exciting.
I'm really, really excited about it. I'm actually, because part of the show, without giving too much away, is not all completely in English.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm even more excited to see how that's gonna work in terms of, you know, ASL and with the augmented reality. But I think it should be a really fun time. And so we're workshopping this fall, but then we are performing, or I'll be performing in February. So that should be a blast of a time. And I'm hoping that, you know, a lot of people are able, if we are able to convene in person, for us to be able to actually share space. Because there's a part of the process for me that involves, or at least in the past, has always involved talkbacks with the audience to find out how the audience feels about the show, how it's affected them, any ways that they may relate to the subject matter. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that can work, especially right now in the midst of, you know, this pandemic, how this is affecting us. Yeah.
I hope that you get that experience to have that kind of communion with people. It is so important, and we're so deprived of it right now. Like I've been doing some workshops, and they've all been on Zoom, and you know, some of them have gone really well, but then you still miss that, you know, that chit chat after, or like in between on the breaks, you know, and just that physical presence of people that we're all missing, and just people breathing and hearing people, you know, do whatever they're doing physically. So yeah, I hope that you get that experience. To close, I should say, the proper dates for Paprika Festival are the week of May 31st, so May 31st to June 6th. And we'll announce what programming looks like closer to the time. We'll make some decisions on as per whatever the government regulations are at that time.
Yes, wonderful. And 11/11 will be running from February 2nd to February 21 in 2021. So that should be a blast. Getting to do it during Black History Month. An added bonus.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming back in after I jumped in there, because you brought up a lot of really great points about the festival and the shows and your relationship to and commitment to access. So I really appreciate that. And I'm so beyond happy that you have this connection over these childhood books. And now I think Kanika is going to have to get a book in the mail, Samson. I'm just saying. She needs a signed copy.
I'm trying to see if I can. I'm probably gonna have to figure out or go by Auntie Isa's house and see if she might dig up in her things and see if she probably has the manuscript. Because if she does, then yeah, I'm definitely sending that off to Plastic and seeing what can happen with that.
Oh my God, so exciting.
So I really hope that happens. Keep us posted. Let us know. You'll have to take pictures.
Yeah, we'll do a vlog update.
Amazing. Well, thank
Awesome.
you both so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I love when people get to have conversations for the first time together. So thank you so much for your time. And I'm really looking forward to both 11/11. It's really fun because 11/11 sort of kicks off our season and Paprika sort of wraps it up. So you guys bookend our 2021
Nice.
season. So that's really, really lovely too. But thank you so much. And hopefully this goes up in time for Paprika applications, and for it's really cool that both of your heritage months sort of are one after the other. So I'll try my best to line it up that way.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank
you so much.
Nice chatting with you.
Thank you.
Craig's cookies, Craig's cookies,
I
Craig's
wanna go eat
cookies.
some cookies.
Enjoy.
All right.
Bye. Have a
Lovely
great day.
talking to you.
Keep in touch, Samson.
For sure.
Bye.